Welcome to Focus on the Candidates. I'm Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Ray Riehle, and he is running for Congress in California. So, Ray, tell us a little bit about what's going on with Proposition 50 and all that other good stuff that's causing havoc.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today, Cynthia. I really appreciate having a chance to talk to you, especially when we're two coasts apart.
Right.
Proposition 50 was a redistricting plan for the state of California that changed the districts fairly dramatically. I'm I could go into great detail about it. Essentially, it takes the map and gerrymanders it in ways that are almost unimaginable. I
Okay.
was set up to run in California District 6, which is northern Sacramento County. The map of District 6 was a fairly compact district, one of the easier districts to run in Northern California. The map that it looks now for California District 6 looks a bit like an elephant or an octopus. And the other issue is District 3, where Congressman Kevin Kiley has a seat, was divided and chopped up into six separate little pieces. It
Oh
was
my God.
divided into six districts. So as of right now, he has not decided where he is going to run for Congress, whether he stays in District 3, which is now significantly a more Democrat seat, or if he runs in 6 or one of the other seats. So I'm waiting on him as a Republican. I really can't run against a sitting Republican congressman.
So it really upsets the apple cart where somebody who wants to run for Congress doesn't quite, they're not quite sure of where the district is going to be. That's tough.
Yeah, it's awkward. It makes it difficult. It's been difficult for since the state legislature pushed this proposition onto the ballot because nobody knows what's going to happen. Therefore, fundraising becomes extraordinarily difficult. Conversations become difficult because people don't know where you're going to be running and they kind of sit back and watch.
Okay. Okay. So as you're waiting, um, how are you campaigning?
Well, I continue to talk to people. I continue to hold events. I continue to make phone calls to describe my position is one that I want to see a state and a nation that gives opportunities that are equal to or exceed those that I've had in my life.
Mhm.
It's critically important for my children, grandchildren, your children, grandchildren, the next generation to have the same opportunities that we had when we were growing up. And it's been a great life. I've had a wonderful life. I've had great opportunities. And I think that we need to ensure that the next generation has the same opportunities that we've had.
Um, Running for office is you learn a lot. You learn by doing. So, as you're going on with this campaign, what have you learned so far?
That the most difficult and awkward part of running for office is trying to raise money.
Uh-huh.
It's the rest of it, talking to people, knocking on doors, presenting your position is easy because I know what I believe. I know what is important to me, but the raising money is critical. My opponent in Congressional District 6, Congressman Ami Bera, has been in office for 12 years. He has about $2 million in the bank going into this. He has the capacity to raise significant amounts of money and spend a lot of money. And today, that allows you to touch voters in many, many ways if you have those resources. My
Mhm.
campaign is going to be more old school, knocking on doors, walking neighborhoods, talking to people, because I can't afford TV. I can't afford the strong direct mail advertising campaign that he can afford. But I've learned that it's fun. Most people are very, very kind.
Mhm.
and are interested in conversation. You run into people who are completely opposed to you, and they can be a little bit mean, but it's all right because these are conversations that are important, and I enjoy the conversation.
Tell us a little bit about the money aspect. Um, have you received any, or have you received any money from outside the district?
I'm using a couple of fundraising, well, one fundraising program called WinRed, which is a national program that gets sends out text messages primarily, and people from across the country donate to campaigns. So people will get a text message that says Ray Riehle is a conservative running for Congress out of sight of Sacramento. He could use your help. And many people will donate $1 or $5 or $10 to the campaign. I have, I looked at the number last week. I think I have about 3,200 donors,
Oh.
most of them fairly small donors. My local base of that is, I would guess, 250 plus and in addition to the people I know personally that I've called. So it is very national, but it's national in a small dollar way. The local big donors, I don't have any huge donors. I don't have anybody from the PACs that are donating money now, but it's a little early. The primary in California is not until June of 26.
Mhm.
In a presidential election year, it would be in March, but in a non-presidential and off-year election, it's in June. So we're 9 months away, 8 months away from when the election will be held for the primary. California has a top two primary, so it will be whoever gets the most votes in a district, and the person who comes in second will run again in November of next year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the influence of APAC in American politics. Have you been contacted by APAC for, to don't contribute to your campaign?
No,
Okay.
I I'm pretty small in terms of the my footprint nationally. I think that the bigger donors will pay attention more once after the primary in California, and then they're going to look at the district and see if it's winnable by a conservative. And if it is, then you start seeing more money coming in from outside.
So have you been embraced by the party?
The Sacramento County Republican Central Committee has not made an endorsement at this time. They will likely do something in the next few months, but it's still pretty early in the process. I work with them a little bit. My primary business is marketing and direct mail, and I do printing. So I've supported the Sacramento County Republican Party by printing a lot of cards related to the No on 50. I can do signage, so I printed signs for them at a relatively low cost. And I know many members. I was on it at one time, but at this point, it's really too early to get an endorsement from a party.
How has your your contacts with the media, are they knocking on your door?
No, no one, very few media are knocking on my door related to the campaign, other than local. I'm fairly well known in the my community in Citrus Heights in northern Sacramento County. So there's a local newspaper that I spent a fair amount of time describing what was going on with Prop 50, and they talked to me about it. There's other local newspapers that I talk to, but the big media, the Sacramento Bee, the large local media doesn't reach out to people like me, not at this point.
Okay. Do you think if you won the primary that they would be calling you? And how savvy are you with social media?
I believe that the media will engage with both sides. I believe that the local media, larger media, would talk to me, reach out, would interview me, would likely come to or report on my events. Social media, I have a Facebook page. I do a little, very little on Twitter, Instagram. I am not an expert on social media, but I will have a consultant who will help me put all of that together. I think much of that is a skill set that people develop, and I will utilize it as we move through the campaign.
Do you think a lot of candidates are proficient in social media, or do they have a lot to learn?
Oh, I think that the younger, the next generation of candidates, people say under 40, perhaps under 50, who have engaged with social media in the past are very, very capable and understand it. At 63, I enjoy it, I use it, but I don't know that I don't know that I think in terms of social media. The TikTok say everything you need to say in 15 seconds
Right.
is not easy for me because I prefer deeper dives and more detail than you can get in a 15-second soundbite.
What interests do you have outside politics?
Well, I've been active in the Rotary Club of Citrus Heights for 20 some odd years. I've been active in the Chamber of Commerce for as long as I've been in business. I'm active in Toastmasters here in town. I raised four kids and they're all gone and doing well, but my interests are a lot of community-based work through Rotary and through other organizations here in town. I sit on the Citrus Heights Water District Board of Directors. I'm already elected. I've been doing that for 10 years. Before, when my kids were still at home, four kids, that's my job. I run my business, a small business, a direct mail company and advertising company, and raise kids. And that was much of what I did up until they grew up.
And so you know a lot of people that might be beneficial to you as you're running for office.
I have good local support. There's a gentleman who does a radio show here in Sacramento, John McGinnis, a former sheriff of Sacramento County, has a daily radio show. I have his endorsement, his support. I've known him for a good number of years. Another gentleman, Kelly Brothers, was on TV for many years here in town. I have support of my other water board members. I have general support in the water world, but again, getting endorsements this early is somewhat difficult.
Mhm. Not only is it early, but the fact that you don't know exactly where the district is going to be, that's
Yes.
a hindrance.
The fun part of District 6, I really liked the new map was actually to my advantage. I should have supported Prop 50 because it changed the demographics of the seat, added 3 to 5% more Republicans. So it became a more conservative district. But it's bad. It was bad law, and I didn't want to support. I don't like to support bad law, no matter how it advantages me.
Mhm. That's noble.
Yeah, well, it's important when you're thinking about legislation that you make sure it is truly the best legislation for the most people, and Prop 50 was not.
What do you think as you talk to the people in, you know, in your district, although you I
In the
can't
region, sure.
in the region, that's a good way of putting it. What are the three most important concerns that they talk to you about?
Well, it's the same. I think it's basically the same important issues that come up. The economy. People want opportunity, economic opportunity in the community. They want energy prices to be appropriate to what they're getting. And they want to be sure that the the freedoms that we've had over the years are maintained, that people have the opportunity to go out and do the things that they want to do. Really, when I look at the economy, I think about it as energy and water. For me, as a board member of a water district, I am very, very interested in infrastructure and the importance of infrastructure. If we don't have enough energy and we don't have the infrastructure to provide power at a cost-effective way, we can't farm. Farmers can't farm without energy. And if farmers can't farm, you don't have good and sufficient food. So those are the issues that are really important. Education always comes up. Everyone wants education. And I do have some thoughts about that related to Toastmasters, actually.
Water has been an issue in California for many years, right?
Yes, it's forever,
Forever.
forever, for all time. Yes.
Now, do the people that you talk to, are they concerned about what's going on in the world? Meaning, the Ukraine war, Gaza, Venezuela. Have they talked about that to you at all?
We don't usually get into that. Those are, I believe, all someone, I don't remember who said it, all politics is local.
Right.
And
Tim
the
O'Neill,
local,
I believe it was.
yeah, I think you're right. The local issues are more important. Now, when you have a longer conversation, absolutely people talk, well, what do you think of what's happening in Ukraine? Well, it's horrible that the war has gone on for 3 years,
Yep.
4 years in Ukraine, and people are dying. 1 million people have died or been injured in that war. It's horrible. What do you do about it? What's the proper way to engage and resolve that issue? And that's those questions come up. What's happening? What happened in Israel and Gaza? Certainly, people want to have answers, but I think that although they're interested in that, I don't know that that drives the discussion of local politics.
Okay. How about the threat of nuclear war?
Well, as a child of the 60s and 70s, I grew up. I remember thinking about it as I was growing up that it was a real possibility almost every day, it seemed. We still
Right.
would have drills, and when I was in elementary and middle school, to hide under your desk and duck and cover.
Yeah.
So it is a real issue. I'm not sure that people think about that the same way you and I probably did when we were growing up. I don't know that children think about the destruction of the Northern Hemisphere through nuclear war as something that is likely to happen. It's a possibility, but I don't think total global nuclear war is something that people consider. They would consider perhaps a city being destroyed as but I don't think they see total war in the same way.
How do you envision it?
I envision being ex very have a very strong and effective military so that the philosophy of mutual assured destruction that was the Cold War with Russia, that your opponents recognize that if you go down that road, you're all going to be dead, and
Hmm.
that you survive and thrive by being strong, and everyone knowing how strong you are. The more powerful you are, the less likely you are to have to get into a fight.
So, when will the lines be finalized? How much longer do you have to wait?
Yes, how much longer do I have to wait? So I don't know
Oh
because
boy.
I am not an expert on the laws related to election mapping. I know the Supreme Court will probably have the final decision. There have been a couple of cases in California that were thrown out that that the law, the proposition was legal. I think what happens is it ends up going to the Supreme Court if it can get to that point. My personal belief is that although there were a number of mistakes, errors, illegalities in what was done with the proposition, they're technical in nature and not sufficient to have it overturned legally. And I believe the new maps will stand, and I expect that I will know by the middle of December for certain.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's a lot of division in this country. There's a lot of disunity, and I hate to say it, but there's a lot of hate between different factions. Um, can you comment about all the civil unrest we have?
The I can back up a little bit as to why it's happening. I think it's because people don't talk to each other anymore, and they stop recognizing others as people.
Mhm.
So I think as soon as you stop talking and having conversations, you lose the humanity of the people who have different opinions, that allows you to say they're not people, therefore we can do whatever we want. Civil unrest, people throwing rocks and lighting fires and protesting violently is fundamentally wrong. I don't understand why you could think that you have the right to jump up and down on cars or throw bricks through windows or destroy businesses. It's people are destroying their own neighborhoods. I can't understand why you would go down the street and destroy your own neighborhood other than if the unrest is coming from an outside source. I can't imagine my neighbors going down the street and throwing bricks through the local fast food place. So I think it's because people have dehumanized the other and they're not prepared to have a real conversation because we don't learn how to have conversations anymore.
So, last question. Do you do you do you think of politics as theater?
Uh, when you say theater, if you're if you're a politician, you have to make a presentation. You have to grab the attention of the people around you. So I suppose in that sense, it is theatrical because you need to be able to present your position in a way that's engaging with the people who are watching you. But the underlying governance is not theater, it's very real. The underlying governance determines how people live and how they're going to have the products and services they need to live the best life they can. So it is theatrical. I think it's people like to pound on the table. It's Nikita Khrushchev pulling a shoe out and pounding it on the table, saying, but he wasn't pulling his own shoe off. He had a shoe as a stage prop that he was going to use. I think a lot of the shouting and emotion that you get in political speeches is theater because people get enthusiastic about hearing a powerful, exciting speaker who's supporting their position. But I don't think that solves or resolves the issues because it requires thoughtful nuance and detailed discussion to actually create governance that works for the people.
So, I, I, I'm sorry. Um, what, tell everybody why they should vote for you.
Because I believe that good governance will lead to better lives for our children and grandchildren and the people around us. The sole purpose of governance is to allow people to thrive and live their best possible lives. I have experience working as in the local world in Rotary. I've worked on service projects. I've sat on a water board. I work on managing money financially, setting a plan for the future. If you want a if you want to be successful in the future, you need to have governance that allows you to succeed. You have energy, education, water, you have leadership that is willing to sit down and listen. And I will listen and I will work to resolve issues in a way that is going to look forward 50 or 100 years, not just till next Tuesday.
So, um, if anybody wants to volunteer for your campaign, give you a donation, how can they reach you?
My website is rayreilly.com. Just you can go to my website at www.rayreilly.com.
You want to
And
spell that?
it's RayRiehle.com. I think that now that you ask that, rayreilly.com. You can also go to spell it out as Ray Riehle, Really, and that's
Uh-huh.
I claim that I do have that much social media savvy. So Ray Riehle, RayReally.com takes you to my website as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the smarter things I've come up with. But you can go to my Ray if you look me up, Ray Reilly, there's a fairly extensive list. I've been active for a long time. I have a fairly decent footprint for a Google search or any internet search, or on Facebook.
Okay. So you've been listening to Ray Really. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Focus on the Candidates. And if you like this show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ray, it's been a pleasure talking with you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you for your time.